go. Hello and welcome back for another session on our Happy at Home series. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so excited to see people on the random. I'm so excited this is working. And this computer shouldn't die today. I set up another computer, which is very exciting because I really wanted things to work. So welcome. Kathy's here and Joyce is here. Sheila says, hi, ladies. And we've got my other Kathy here. Hi, Kathy. Greg, I'm so nice to see you. So welcome. Today we are going to be talking about cut files. I'm really excited because we've kind of seen them a little bit along the way, but I think that, this is a really good chance for us to talk about them and kind of see how we might be using them on our pages or how we maybe should be using them. And I've heard about some really good ideas. And so we're going to offer up some of your best ideas too. So a little bit of crowdsourcing to give us some inspiration. So hopefully that will put us on the right track for today. Hopefully everybody is having a good day. I see some people have some really good weather happening. I have some really good weather happening. The sun is shining. That makes it already a good day. So thank you so much for checking in with me. So talking about cut files, I think before I wanted to dive into cut files, I wanted to dive into the whole idea of die cuts versus cut files versus metal dies. And I totally didn't grab it. I have to grab one thing. I was trying to have everything. I even have a note on here. So first of all, I thought we should talk about storage of these things too, because how do you store this stuff? Maybe we'll do that next, actually. I think we're going to dive into some other things. So kind of when you're kind of testing the world of die cuts, cut files, right? So I think there's like a little bit of confusion when people hear these words are like, what's the difference? What are these? So let's chat about that first. Okay. So here we go. I've pulled out some packages and I'm going to do a share. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy it worked. Okay, so these packages are what we often think of when we're talking about die cuts, right? That's kind of what we're looking at, is we're thinking die cuts. And so we have little tiny pieces of ephemera. Yes, I chop mine up and use parts of them. And little tiny pieces of ephemera that will go onto our pages. Sometimes they have a little bit of like special effects and different things like that. So this is kind of what I think of when I think of die cuts. You can get different sizes, different themes, different packs. They're wonderful. They're easy. They're a great way to make sure that we have our, a little bit of extra embellishment on the page. And the great thing about these also is that you can pop them up, create a little dimension on the pages. Totally love using die cuts. So I was going to just give you a few examples of die cut pages first, and then we'll kind of move on from there. I'll pop those back in there. I actually don't keep a huge supply of die cuts in my stash. I probably have 12 packages of them or something. I don't have a ton of them. Yay, welcome. Jacqueline says, hi, it's my first time watching live. I'm so glad that you decided to join us today. This is a super fun topic. We have covered all kinds of topics. So if there is something that you're curious about in the world of scrapbooking this month, have we covered it all? If it's digital, we haven't. So I can tell you, if it's digital, we haven't. But so many other topics we've talked about. Okay, so die cuts. So here is a layout that I made using a fabulous die cut with the little trees in the background. And if you have some sort of die cut, what set came with the bobby pin? Oh, that was a Good question. Let me pull that one out. It was from We Are Memory Keepers, die cut. It was called Urban Chic, and it had the bobby pins in it. It had lipstick and bobby pins, and it's not from this year, so if you're looking for it, good luck. Because it's not a new one. But I bet you there's somebody out there that has it and is ready to move it out of their supply. There is a store just waiting to sell it to you. I can guarantee it. So yeah, I love little die cuts like this. I love to pick them up when I travel. We've seen that I really enjoy making travel pages, and I really enjoy making pages about Hawaii. If this is your first time, now you know. But yeah, just having a little die cut like this kind of adds a lot of character to a page that's kind of fun. These long strip ones are perfect if you want to put two pieces of paper and have like a divide between them. So I think that is good. Your sound is turned off from the video. I think everybody else can hear, so it's possibly on your side. Just hit the refresh button. So refresh. Yay. Okay, so die cuts that you buy like in a package. One of my favorite things to do with die cuts from a package is to create a cluster of the die cuts. Oh, that's really pretty. Well, thank you. I really like creating clusters of die cuts. So on this one, you can kind of see I made this whole strip that goes along the side. Sometimes it's like a little embellishment cluster with die cuts. And I think that they're just a fabulous embellishment to use. And within those clusters, I add stickers, I add sequins, I add puffy things. Like, it's not like it's just one little thing. So yeah, this was a cute story. You can see I did like a little bite out of the page. The beach that we swam at and snorkeled at the day before when we tried to go back was actually closed because there were tiger sharks, I think, spotted there. Yeah, tiger sharks in the area. And it's like, oh, I'm kind of relieved we didn't see them. Partly because I didn't want to disturb them, right? It's not the sharks. They're not the bad guys. Sure. Y'all believe me with that. And, they're simple, like a little simple embellishment to add to a page, right? We've got like my owl and stuff on there. I look at this page could have used a little more white so these didn't stand out, but you critique your pages after. Oh, I love the colors. Oh yeah, this page, so fun. Oh my gosh. So super fun. And then you can get like more packs of die cuts. Just love to get them onto the pages. I thought this was really fun because the die cuts match the paper. And sometimes when they match like almost too much, it's like, how do your pages tell very descriptive stories? They do. It's one of my very favorite things, Jacqueline. So I'm glad you kind of see that right up front. Yeah, so sometimes when the die cuts really closely match the paper, it can almost be hard to use it, but I like to use them to create some layers. So you can see the green florals that you see along here, the leaf, the foliage, not the florals, the green foliage that you see in the back is actually part of the background paper. And it has like this light colored strip in the middle. So I chose to put my photo there. And then I used the die cuts that were matching with this to kind of pop up and add extra dimension along the top and bottom edges of the photo. I think that turned out really well. And this is a picture that we set up of us eating pie. We're actually sharing a pie, which when they're from this pie place, that's a little hard to do, I will confess. It's if you go to Maui, here's my recommendation of the day for traveling. If you go to Maui, you must go to a little pie shop called Leota's Pie and Kitchen. Oh my gosh, so good. So good. Banana cream, best I've ever had. It's like almost sad because I would love to go and eat it right now. So anyways, banana cream pie is amazing. Actually, all the pies we've eaten there is amazing. My husband likes to try different things, but once I found like that favorite one, it's like, just give me the good one. Yeah. So good. So pie time. But yeah, you can see, and these are the pre-made die cuts. Now, you might have, like me, a little collection. I was trying to see if I could reach some out here. You might have a little collection of metal dies. And so if you do, I don't know if I actually brought out samples with this one, but I've used this die cut on several pages. I love this, and you're making me drool. I know, it's such good pie. I would actually say that I'm not a pie person, except for their pies. It's so good. So, I'm sorry, it's corrupting, I know. I figure this is, well, it's after lunch for me, so FYI, Harry Potter is free to read or listen to for all who want it with no wait in May on my library's app. It might be free for others as well. Oh, I do love Harry Potter. That's really cool. I'm going to go check that out because that would be awesome if it's on there. Like, I do have books, but if they have audio version, oh, that's the best. I just love having this story read to me. I'm like a little kid. Anyways, on with the show. Metal dies. So you can make your own die cuts using metal dies. In this page here, I've used glitter snowflakes to add some different dimension to this page and add a little bit of shine. It has a really not perfect image of the ring, but this is like engagement photo for my brother, so it's so exciting. And they're married now, so really, really happy. But yeah, I think that the little dies, the die cuts have really been a fabulous way to add that dimension to that. Oh, look, and I actually used my We Are Memory Keepers typewriter on this one. Like, that thing is not exactly paid for itself yet, let's just say, in the amount of work that it's done. This page is a totally different style. Scared and loving it. I'm talking about my childhood love for the Dark Crystal and the Labyrinth movies, which scared me to death. But you can see in the background here, there's a little bit of cobweb, and those are die cuts that I cut with metal dies. Oh yeah, the picture with my brother, so sweet. Thank you. He's so sweet. My brother and his fiance, who's now his wife, so really awesome. Next thing is this one here. You can see just a simple little die cut in there, but it helped to really pull the theme of the page together. I know we looked at this one when we looked at some other embellishments, and when we talked about, I think, the mood and themes of pages, I think that's where we pulled this one out. And I don't know if I've shared this one, possibly, but this little space needle was a metal die cut, and I was so excited to be able to use it because, Kathy, it was yours! So she's here in the room, and when I went to Seattle, she had the die, and I got to add her stuff to the page, and that is so hilarious that it was perfect. Gwen says the snowflakes on that page really do accentuate the diamonds. So yeah, and I love this page. It's so simple. If you guys need simple, this was so simple. I boosted the colors majorly because there was so much blue sky, and then I did a swatch of blue ink across the page. Then I used the photo app and I turned it kind of pink, which looks ridiculous, right? Like, you wouldn't do photos like that all the time. Swatch of pink ink. Then I turned it really yellow, swatch of yellow, die cut words. Done. And it's just, I think this page has so much impact. I love it. Kathy says, I'm so glad I could be of help to you, Alice. So those are the things we think of when it comes to die cuts, right? And there are tons of ways to use them, and I think that they add a lot to our pages. But then there's the chance. I love the color changes. Oh yeah, that was a fun little project. That was a good one. So then there are our electronic die cutting machines. And it's like some of these things you can cut obviously with electronic die cut machines as well. So that's totally a thing, right? You can cut smaller elements. But lots of times the place that the electronic die cut machines have really shone in for us in the past is being able to cut these really big elements to go on your page. So this is me when I first started getting into this. This is a fairly older page. You might be able to tell from some of the papers and the embellishments. There's a little bit of metal on this page. We don't see a lot of that anymore. But I really liked like the big embellishments. It kind of has the feel of a doily, but with the layers. I think that's kind of fun. When we also got our electronic machines, what was the other first thing we did? We made all the titles, right? All the titles for all the pages. I know this is hard to see the full page. This is a double pager. Here, maybe I'll just click this and you can see the full effect of the double pager. But I was able to make this little wee kind of element for the title, and it was just a fun way to finish this. So creative with the pictures and the paint. Oh, thank you. I think that was like the 3-color, the scan and cut. I could not live without it, says Sheila. Yeah, and I don't have one. I've been like this close literally to being able to, where I just bought one and then I was like, ew, then I have to learn how to use it. I don't know. Is that really going to happen? Am I actually going to use it enough? So I kind of had that whole, dilemma. But yeah, when you first get your machine, you cut all the titles, right? And let's get you to focus. Perfect. Thank you. Pretty your layouts give me the warm and fuzzies. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love sharing these things, and I love looking back at the old stuff because while this is an older layout, I still look at it and I see so many things that are good, that help me to tell my story and that help me to capture those moments. Whether I have a little story or a great big one, I really want to be able to do this. Sheila says it took me 4 months to bring myself to buy it. My friends use it too. I bring it everywhere. I love hearing that because when you make that investment into that big equipment, into that big machinery, it's like, yes, I need to use it now. Pineapple Papers, Crystal says, I remember cutting all the titles. So you can relate. So that's kind of what we think of first, right? When we start thinking of die cuts and you start looking at all the titles. Here, I'm going to go back to the big screen here because I got another 2-pager that I yanked out for this, and it is my top photos of 2018 layout. Oh yes, I do know why that's on the desk. Okay, we'll go to that next. That's coming up soon. So top photos 2018. So here I've got this lovely die cut. It actually came in one of my kits from the Wild Hair kits when I was using those all the time. And I love being able to use it. I added a little bit of glitter to it. So something that, we're going to start talking about more is what we can do to add a little interest to our die cuts or cut files and stuff like that we make. And that is one of those things. So let's go back to this split screen. And I think, no, one more here. Okay, so we saw this one the other day when we talked about Stacey Julian's podcast, right? And we were talking about making connections on pages. And here you can see that I used my machine to cut the word winter out, and I put some glitter, that diamond stickles, right? That's on top. And we talked about, we kind of brushed past the diamond stickles on the day that we talked about the Nouveau. Sharon says, great idea for top photos of the years. I am stealing that idea. That is why I'm here to show it to you. So you steal away. Scrap lift that one. I would be thrilled. And if you want to share a layout, if you post on Instagram, I'd love to see it. I'm at Alice Boll. I would pop it up on the screen, but we're on a different computer. I have different things set up. So Purple Paisley Planner says, hi, Alice, and hi, everyone. Awesome. She smashed the like button. Thank you. That is so sweet of you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it when people take the time to do that because, you know, it's just kind of shows me that I'm doing the stuff that you guys appreciate. So yeah, there's doing the titles. And so as we're starting to create titles like this and we're starting to do some custom work and we're starting to play, we're getting into the realm of cut files, right? And so for those, we need those digital machines, or do we? Sharon says, I don't have Instagram. If we're friends, just pop it to me on Facebook. Post it to me on Facebook. I think you're there, right? I need somewhere to set my layouts. This is crazy. I have so many little things pulled out that I wanted to share. So before we get into the world of cut files, the way that we're going to kind of talk about them, I thought it might be good to kind of talk about storage. How do you store your cut files? So if you've cut them out, or if you've bought some, then how do you store them? And so some people might be saying, Alice, I don't have an electronic machine. I don't cut these out. I don't get to have any of the fun. Are you sitting there thinking that? Because that's not true. There are great places that will cut out the cut files and you can just buy them and use them. So yay for those places. One of my favorites is Redefined Creative, and that is creative with a K. So Redefined Creative is a fabulous place. And let's have a little peek inside my book because I will show you how I store these because, oh my goodness, if you can't store your cut files, you are going to miss out on some of the fun because you got to be able to find them, right? It's all about access. If you have 5 of them, you don't need this. But if you have a few more, or if you're cutting some out and you decide to cut a little extra one or something and you need to store that, then this is an option. So this is just my solution. So I'm going to share you my organization. So in here, I have my cut files. I've slid a piece of cardstock. I have a little bit of it. Anybody else? Put your hand up. Just let me know. Say, hey, yeah, I have a bit of cardstock too. So I have a bit of cardstock. So I'm not gonna be like missing this. And if I need it, I can always go grab it from the book. But I have cardstock separating this, all of the page protectors. Oh, this is good. I actually used this one. So, and I actually put a little marker in here telling me where I got this from. So RK in my book means Redefined Creative. TM means Treasured Memories. But then I have them separated by categories. So these are my fancy high-tech tabs. This is the travel one. And so all of these ones right here are travel related. Here, I'll go back to this because that would be a better angle again. So we've got all of my travel related ones. Just love that turtle. I can't wait to use that on a page. We've got some stuff. And so sometimes you have like little pieces, and thankfully when you order them from Redefined Creative, she makes sure that you get all of your little pieces. Some of the stuff that fills in gaps or fills in other areas. So I've got the suitcase latch from this one, and I've got the turtle eye from my turtle. So those are in here. So those are included. That's just a great way to keep everything together. And after this one had backing pieces, and it was actually pre-backed for me, so I was like pretty happy about that. Beth says, great idea to put them in a binder. I always cut extra on my silhouette and they always get mangled. Oh yeah, they're delicate, right? They're just like little bits of paper. So in my spare time sometimes when I'm maybe not being ultra productive, because that happens. It happens to me. Does that happen to you? This can be a problem. So then I'll sit and I'll just back the files, right? So that they're ready to go on a page. And these ones here are from Treasured Memories. Treasured Memories is a store in Edmonton, Alberta, but they have an online section and they actually make a lot of cut files. So those are my two places. Those are my two places. Redefined Creative with a K and Treasured Memories. Super good cut files from both of them. Yeah, and so you can see I've got them all separated. Here we're into the geometric section, and yeah, different ones have different pieces so that you can fill them in, or you can make your own pieces to fill them in. Like, how cute would this be if I filled in all the stuff, right? Purple Paisley Planner says, I love turtles. Sheila says, I keep my small cut files in the trading card protectors in a binder. Yes, for the small ones, that's perfect. Yeah, my smaller ones, everything just kind of went in here so that I have all the pieces together. And the Christmas ones and fun ones. Look at all those cute dinosaurs. Like, how fun is that? So yeah, I have a lot of them for doing different things. Look at the pile of books with a little teacup up top. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I've got some really fun things in here, but sometimes it's, now you know how I organize them so that I can actually find them when I need them. Let's have a look at different ways that we can use them on our pages. So some cut files are more something you might get in a kit or you might find somewhere else. Some of them are more simplistic. You can see here, this one had the squares and triangles cut out of it, and I have gone in and backed in behind them. Then on top of that, I've actually added little splashes of mist or ink on top of there. So it's kind of a chance to see it up close right here. And yeah, so the files are backed, and then they are, then there's actually ink on top of them too. So I think that's a really fun way to kind of use that. Here's another pre-cut page. I like the pre-cut ones, can you tell? I don't currently have an electronic die cut machine here. My Cricut was really old. I sold it with all of the cartridges, and I was planning to get a scan and cut, and then I didn't. And then I thought, oh, maybe I'll get myself a Silhouette, and I didn't. And so now I just shop for die cuts. I don't use a lot of pages like this, but every once in a while, they're kind of fun and super easy to make. I love that it had like the Texas word in here. So I stamped this card in the back. You could use pattern paper if you had the perfect thing. I didn't. I wanted yellow roses for the yellow rose of Texas. And then I put in all these pictures of being in Texas with my friends. And so that was super fun. And here's some more. I'm looking at some like really full page ones here. Now this is another one for people that might not have an electronic die cut machine. What fun to play with. I know. So if you don't have an electronic die cut machine, you might be like, okay, I can shop, but here's another thing you can do. You can cut your own die cut paper. Just grab your craft blade, right? Grab your little craft blade, and you can cut papers and make fabulous designs in the background. So if you look closely at this, all of these hearts were all over the page. And I cut some of them out, and I backed the paper with watercolor, like an ombre watercolor that I had made. Yeah, Diane's like, oh, that's really cute. And so it gave me the chance to bring more colors into the page And I loved getting to use some of the paper that I had played with as I was like testing my watercolor skills, right? And this gave me the chance to do that without having to have really great watercolor skills, right? Like it's not really the focus of the page. So that was kind of fun. And here we go. We can see on this one, I just used, I've used different little bits, little pieces of paper to back in this kind of cut file paper. And this cut file paper wasn't one that I had to cut. It came pre-packed in the pink paisley packet of papers. So that was really good. Jacqueline says, this is a learning experience for me. I've never used a cut file. So I think that cut files, like if you have to learn to cut them and if you have to do all the pieces, like if you're going to download the file and then be able to make that work with your machine and do all the things, that can be a little bit intimidating. It's not that bad, but it can be a little intimidating. So if you start by using some of the pre-cut cut files, I think it's a really great kind of introduction into the world of cut files to see if it's even a kind of thing that you'd like to play with, right? If you don't like scrapbooking with it, save yourself the money. Don't bother buying the stuff, right? Like, so I definitely think that sometimes we jump into something that we might like a little too quickly, and then we don't always get the best use out of that thing. Guilty as charged. Like, anybody else? Anybody else? We did have a whole day dedicated to the fuse tool, just in case somebody still has theirs in the package and needs to pull it out. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But I think that this is a great way to explore with this kind of thing, see if we like the effect, and then if we're like, best thing ever, if cut files are the best thing ever for you, please go and follow Paige Evans, because Paige Taylor Evans, I think, is where you find her on most social media things. She's brilliant. She's like, she makes beautiful cut files. She uses beautiful cut files. I was just going to say fuse tool. I know. It happens. So the Paige Taylor Evans, she's like the one. She's from Pink Paisley, right? Am I right? Did I say the wrong thing? No, I think I'm right. Okay. Here is another cut file. It has just these little simple waves. I've backed it with some pattern paper. And then I actually added a little bit of color with watercolor to the top of the file. And it's a kind of a trendy thing right now, is to color or add some sort of color, whether it's with coloring, with markers, with paint or something. Coloring on your actual die cuts is kind of a thing right now. So it's something that we're seeing. Diane says, I've made ephemera, but nothing like what you're showing. This is good. That means that I give you something that you can try. So you can walk away from today and you can be like, let me see what I can do with that. And that's like total win for me. So let me know. Yeah, so those are some other ones. Now let's get to really dig into stuff you can do with your cut file machine. All right, let's really dig into that. So I think this is one of the first cut file files that I was like, ooh, I'm using a cut file, where it really felt like using a cut file. I didn't cut it out myself. I got it in a kit. Like I said, don't have the machine, but you can see that I have backed all of the little sections of this heart with the little bits of pattern paper. And I think the effect is absolutely adorable. If the idea of creating all the little pieces and putting them in from behind and gluing them in seems like abject torture to you, this might not be the first kind of cut file that you want to play with. Let's just go there. I like the background paper. Oh, yeah. Did I say where? No, I didn't even say. I made it during a scrapbook live in March of 2019. So I probably say in there what the paper is from, but yeah, it kind of looks pink paisley-esque, possibly. Yeah, so the cut file, very cute. And then here we're going to get into some other cut files. This one here was sun. I've cut it in half and I've kind of spread it. I'm not sure that the effect is this perfect as I had envisioned, but I still like it. I've backed in some colored paper in behind and even some glitter paper. So I thought it was pretty fun. Oh, there's me being proud coach. Yay, go team. That was last summer. And then, yeah, other big cut files. Here's a good one because it's a large cut file, so it's a very large one. And I've done some backing, but I didn't do a lot of backing on this one. And I think that it's a really good balance to kind of see that, yes, you can do the little finicky stuff, or it can be a lot simpler depending on your approach to it. So it doesn't all have to be like, oh, this took forever to do and this took forever to make. Backing a cut file takes some time. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. My preferred glue to use is one of these little glue things. I have the Lawn Fawn one. There's other versions. I like this. The tip doesn't seem to be plugged too often. It sticks good. It's easy to work with. It's precision tipped enough. So I think that's good. Sharon says, great photo of you. Thank you. I took it. Surprise, surprise. I actually took selfies before anybody had ever said the word selfie, actually. And I would take them all the time with my DSLR camera. I would like hold it out and take my own picture. It's hilarious. Oh, I think I have that one and I like how you've embellished it. And so it doesn't have to be overwhelming, right? Like you can use the cut file to give you some feeling, to give you some dimension, to give you some texture to your page, but it doesn't have to be so much, right? It doesn't have to be so much work. You don't have to fill every little space all the time. Other fun cut file use. This one here, I actually did cut this back when I did have a Cricut machine. And I cut this one with glitter paper. And then actually there's two of them, I think, and I layered in two pieces. And then I added extra little hearts that, I cut some more. So I thought that was a really good way to kind of create a bit of a glittery mat for my jewel. Oh, I know where the E is for that. It's downstairs. It was stuck to my foot. Okay, anybody else, please tell me you've walked away from your scrapbook room or stash or wherever you were working on your stuff and found a letter, a sticker, an embellishment, a sequin, like something on you that you took with you. I found it. My husband said, E, what's with the E? And I'm like, what are you talking about? It was literally on the bottom of my foot. And I'm looking, couldn't think of which layout it's from, but it was from this one. That's too funny. So I'm glad I know now because now I can fix it. I'm like, oh, I'll have to put that E somewhere safe until I can figure out what layout it's from. Yeah, too funny. Yeah, and then this one here, I had stamped this background. I inked and stamped, so I blended ink and I stamped on top of the blended areas, and then I've put my die cut piece and I wrote my words in by hand. Sharon said I just did that today. Kathy said in the shower, husband, that sounds like it could be different if we didn't know what we're answering that. Beth says I often find them stuck to my cat's fur. I've had pictures stuck to my back end. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Sheila says I have embroidery. I always have embroidery thread on my clothes. Jacqueline says yes. Diane says definitely. So this is something we can all relate to. Sure. I have stickers on my t-shirt often, says Daniela. Sheila says, I was in the shower the other day and I found a sticker on my neck. It's like, how does this happen? Kathy says, I'm looking at some X's on my slippers right now. Jacqueline says, I have somehow thickers don't stick to the page, but they do stick to my socks. I know. Stinking thickers. I know. And I love those darn things. Like, I must love them because I'm willing to pull out the stinking glue every time and glue those babies on, which I'm actually really good about doing now. But yeah, I love how this kind of turned out, and I let the background paper kind of shine through. So, sometimes you don't have to fill them all in to create a really fun effect. And like, you don't have to make your own paper if you didn't want. You could use like a fabulous pattern paper and this would still have totally worked, right? And then I think this is the last one that I have to share. It's the last one I can think of. I don't think I have another one that I can off the top of my head be like, oh yeah, and this one. Anyways, so this one here, it's had the backing pieces. I really have to say I appreciate it. The ones from Treasure Memories often come with the little pieces pre-cut to back, and then you don't have to cut them out yourself. So shout out to them. But yeah, like the little backing pieces. And then I've added like little bits of sparkle within the wave there to kind of give it a little more texture. And I kind of almost wish I had done other little elements in the different pieces because I think that could have been extra pretty. So yeah, so now it's my question to you. Didn't you do one with book pages? I did. Oh yeah, I totally did. Shoot. I don't know where it is because I looked through everything really quick. Well, not everything, but I looked through a bunch of stuff really quick. I have a lot of stuff. Yeah, so I looked through a bunch really quick. See, I've been like procrastinating on putting my layouts into those albums, which are mostly empty. There's a couple that have stuff, but mostly empty. So doing this session, these sessions through April and being able to pull out the layouts has been super convenient because they're all just sitting in piles on my desk here. Terry says, I saw my Misty magnet on my lamp when I woke up. Oh yeah, thank you. That's one of my faves. I love it. And the, fitting the photo into the center. So let's talk about things that you can put into them. Like you can use different kinds of papers to add different textures. You can add different kinds of like glittery things, textural things. You can put your photos right into the middle or part of a die cut thing. And we saw the same thing with that, like this one as well, right? We've got the photos right inside the die cut pieces. You can back them with different things like pattern paper, perhaps some watercolor stuff that you've done. Can we get a picture of your desk at the end of these videos? Oh my gosh, I'm scared. I'm scared this show is bad. It's like everything is exploding around here. It's been like that for a while, but it's it was on its way to better, and then it got worse. And then it got worse. But naughty you for asking me, Kathy, because I'm sure you know. But yeah, so I think that cut files, die cuts, metal dies, all of the things that we can use. Punches, I didn't even talk about punches. Metal punches and stuff like that. There's so many ways to make and cut your own little custom things, and there's different ways that you can embellish those and make them fun, right? You can use glitter paper, you can add like textural flock to something. You can emboss on something with some heat embossing texture stuff, which is amazing. Melody says, I almost missed you. Hi, everyone. So there's a lot of fun ways that we can use these pieces that are cut, pre-cut, or that we cut ourselves and get them into our books, into our pages, and give us a little bit of fun along the way. So yeah, I thought this was a really fun idea. So I have to give a shout out to Deidre. She's like, Alice, have you talked about cut files yet? I'm like, no, it was on my list. It literally, like, when I sat down and I pre-planned what I was going to talk about for a month, it's like one of the first things on the list, and here it is, one of the last things on the month. So kind of funny. Let's talk about a couple of things. Many of these pages that you saw from these piles I have made during my load challenges. The layout a day challenge, which is something we do at ScrapHappy. My tech guy is having a moment. He's working hard right now. Let's just say we've been talking a lot. So I should have I will have very positive thinking here right now. I'll have the registration open for load. If you're not a ScrapHappy member, you can come and join us on this amazing challenge. We are scrapbooking all month inspired by the Beatles. That's right, the Beatles. And it is for a challenge called Load 520 in May of 2020. And it is called Abby Load. I hate that it's the 29th. This month has been wonderful, says Sheila. Well, thank you. And so what I have decided to do is that, yes, we will be here tomorrow. And these are not entirely ending, Joyce. She says, I don't want these to end. I will not be here every day in May, but I am going to come on 2 days a week. I was going to miss this way too much. So I think that what we'll do is we'll come on twice a week. I haven't announced the date yet. If you want to find out more about when I'm actually going to have it, I will post it here on my YouTube for sure. But that email list, that's where it's going to be. And I'll also have the little coupon for the load challenge there too, as soon as it's available. So, I guess I can leave that up for a minute. It's not a big deal. Purple Paisley Planner. She says, month of April went by fast. Practically this year is moving by fast. It is. And hopefully through these sessions, it's given you some things that have made you a little bit happier. Maybe it's helped you connect to your scrapbooking and crafting in another way. If it did, I'm so grateful. Thank you for being part of this. This has just been the best time for me. And thank you for this thumbs up. I saw this coming in right now and I just love it. So, but yeah, we're going to be continuing on a somewhat limited basis in May. Every day. I'm worried I'm going to run out of things to talk about. And then I start talking and I'm like, oh no, I don't have a shortage of things to talk about. It's kind of amazing that way. But during the month of May, I'm going to be scrapbooking during load. And so I'm going to reveal something to you right now. I haven't actually told anybody this yet. This weekend, let me grab the right piece of paper because I have all the dates on it. Here we go. This weekend for International Scrapbooking Day, I am going to be doing some live scrapbook crops. And not just one, not just two, but we're going to do 3. We're going to make a whole weekend event out of it because I love getting together with people and doing fun stuff. So we're going to do one on the 1st, on the 2nd, and on the 3rd. They're going to be at different times of the day so that I can catch some people with different time zones, because if I always had it at the same time, some of the girls are like, but it's 2 a.m. where I live. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Kathy says, I'm so excited for the 2 times a week. Yay. And Judy says, I'm so glad to hear you'll keep this up. Yes. On a more limited, it's not going to be 5 days a week, but we'll do 2. And I think it's still going to be so much fun. But to break us into it, we're going to have 3 days of scrapbooking. And we'll do 3 crops. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd. And we are going to be giving away spots in the load challenge during those times, actually. So if you haven't got onto that yet, because you can't, there will be extra bonus spots given away at the last minute. But one of the catches is that after day 1, you're not eligible for our finishers prizes. So it's better to get in first and get in when you can, because so good. The finishers prizes and the grand prize, all of those things. So Friday, we're going to be meeting at the same time as this. So, you know, it will be good. Not on YouTube, though. We're going to do this with a Zoom. And yeah, that's why you need to be on that email list, right? So we're going to do that with a Zoom. So that's going to be Friday, same time as this, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Then Saturday, it'll be my morning time. We're going to be 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern time. And then on Sunday, it is going to be later, and it will be 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I will have all of that information coming out in the email, because I'm going to go and send one out right away. So that is the plan. So yes, there are ways that we can continue to hang out. I will also be announcing the schedule for the upcoming month of May and when these live sessions are going to be here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me for these. It has been such a blast. I'm back tomorrow. This isn't the end. I'm back tomorrow. And I've saved a good one for last. It's going to be fantastic. And yeah, do I have anything else? Do I have any questions? Anything that I have missed? Anything I've missed? Diane says, I can't believe it's been almost an hour. Twice a week sounds really good. Thank you for all your awesome tips, etc. I can't wait for Abby Load. I know, so good. It's so fun. Oh my gosh. Melody. I didn't know how much I love Beatles music until I really dove deep into Beatles. And I can't wait to share all of the fun tips, because we don't just like say, hey, make a page about this. I tell you like as many of the little backstories and everything that I can kind of dig up, and the things about the inspiration, and it's so fun. So it's really, really good. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to hopefully seeing you back tomorrow. And thanks so much for those thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Talk to you later, guys. Bye. Happy scrapping.